Hi guys, welcome to the Sports Doyen. We have with us Mr. Siddharth Gulati, we have Nathan, and we have Prathamesh to preview the third test at MOTERA, the world's biggest cricket stadium, is about to make its. I can't say it's making its debut because it's the same venue uh, that has hosted so many amazing matches in the past. But it's a new look to it. There's a new feel to it, and apparently it's sold out. We hope, firstly, all the precautions, all the necessary precautions are taken, and everything happens smoothly, and we don't get to listen to any news that is related to the current pandemic with reference to the game. Uh, I hope the entire game the entire talking point remains about the game, nothing about the spectators or anything else. But we have a full crowd. We have a very big crowd tomorrow, so that is the big news. And Nathan will come first if you're good with that. Uh,
Yeah.
what are you expecting tomorrow? I mean, the second test didn't really turn out very nicely for you guys, but apparently there is a track that's waiting, which is sort of giving the English bowlers some sort of hope tomorrow. So what do you have to say on that?
Well, I've not kept up with the pitch actually. I did see it yesterday. It looked quite an interesting pitch. My expectation is there's quite a lot of the unknown, to be honest. It's a new pink ball. I've heard from Jimmy that it's not going to be too much different to the balls he's used in the past. So it's just got a bit more lacquer on it, so it lasts a bit longer from what I'm hearing. But my expectation is that we battle. It looks like a pitch that you'd want to win the toss and bat first. Well, it's India, isn't it? You really want to bat first in India. there's not much more they can say than that, really, can you? But I'm just hoping that we battle hard, and we just need to stay in the game. The pressure is on India. There's no pressure on us. So if we stay in the game longer, or as long as we can, then we can maybe push it home a little bit later with Joe Root, Stokes, and Pope in the middle order.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, that is where I think England did lose, especially in the second test. There wasn't much of a, perseverance from the batsmen. I think that's where they potentially ended up giving such a big lead, and India totally took advantage of that. Siddharth, uh, I mean, firstly, I think as far as this test match goes, uh, the biggest talking point is obviously going to be the stadium itself. Uh,
Absolutely.
but beyond that, I mean, uh, how big a test match this is for the Indian captain, because as far if he wins this test match, he surpasses Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Mahendra Singh
Absolutely.
Dhoni won 21 test matches in 30 tests as captain. Right now, Virat Kohli has 21 wins in 28 games. So if he wins this, he actually surpasses. And what potentially could be a better opportunity than this to at the Motera, at the world's biggest ground, on its first appearance?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's going to be, I would say a milestone of sorts because I would say
Yeah.
that, Virat Kohli is actually he's actually due for that big knock and a big win also. Yes, India did win in Chennai, but this test match, let's say in taking the World Test Championship into factor, this test match actually holds a lot of importance. And
Yes.
the way, the match is being played and could be played and with the pink ball, I'm pretty much sure that it's actually going to be pressure on both the sides because see, you
Yes.
have both the sides have decent fast bowlers, and there's a good chance that Umesh Yadav could return tomorrow, although I'll be a little surprised because on current form I would definitely play Mohammad Siraj, Jasprit Bumrah and Ishant Sharma, who is actually due for a milestone tomorrow. He's going to become the
Hundred
second
test.
fast
Yeah.
bowler, I think, after Kapil Dev to play 100
Yeah.
tests.
Yes.
But and on the
This
other
is the
hand,
12th fast bowler overall.
yeah, and 12 fast bowler overall. Yeah, absolutely. And I think in case of England, Anderson is, I think, is a sure shot starter. Then you're going to have Jofra Archer
Yes.
also, and if I think there's a chance that someone like Chris Wokes or Broad could be picked ahead of Ollie Stone, which again could be
Yeah.
surprising for me because I would really, let's say if I am the England captain, I would definitely go with Ollie Stone because see, there's no. I don't see a reason as to why you would drop him after one test, given that he really performed well at Chepauk. So yeah, yes, fast bowling could actually be the difference here. What I'm reading about the pitch, it does have some live grass, and the spinners are going to come into picture later in the test. But I think what would actually boil down to, let's say, if the result is concerned, I think there are going to be two things. Number one, yes, I know this is something that is not in the both captains' hands, but toss is going to be a crucial factor. And secondly, how the fast bowlers bowl. And I think at this, let's say, if at this very moment, I would actually agree with Nathan that yes, India are a bit of under pressure, primarily because of the fact that England bowlers, they are very much well versed with that pink ball. They do know, I think it's more about that swinging thing, which I would say England, with over the years we have seen the sheer carnage that Broad, Anderson, Mark Wood, and the likes of Jofra Archer and the other England bowlers have caused to the opposition. So yeah, I think it could just come down to the fact that how the fast bowlers bowl. And I think both the sides, in the past have suffered that one innings collapse, and England was against New Zealand at Auckland, and we all know what happened to India at Adelaide. Something that the fans wouldn't want to remember for their respective sides. So yeah, really hope.
Sorry.
So yeah, we would really hope that
Yeah.
there's going to be some good contest, and I really don't want to see a 2.5 or 3 day finish. I really want to see a good contest. Probably 4 or 5 days. That should be okay. But you really want to see both teams fighting, and yeah, definitely as a fan favorite, I would really want India to win and keep their Test Championship to qualify for the final of World Test Championships. But yeah, I think above all, I really want to see a fierce competition and something that keeps us fans very much hooked to the game, like what happened at Gaba. It was we all know how interested we were and how we were hooked to our TV screens. Yeah.
Yes, Siddharth, totally. I think Kushagra has finally completed his dinner. Before I just I hand it over to Kushagra and then let Prathamesh into the discussion. I'll just take a few comments that are there. Uh, Siddharth says, glad that Amit Shah is opening for India tomorrow. Yeah, apparently he's going to be doing the opening ceremony if I'm not wrong. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Masoom Jain says a player each from Maharashtra, Himachal, Bihar, Vijay Hazare squad tested positive. That's not the greatest of news. Hope they recover well, and I hope that doesn't really affect the schedule because uh, especially the amount of domestic cricket that has been shrinked in recent times. I just hope it doesn't
Yeah.
impact the schedule. Kuljot says no hope for England. Mundan ho gaya hai pitch ka. So just translating it for Nathan. Apparently the pitch has been paved. There is no
The pitch
grass.
is what, sorry?
Apparently that's what he said.
I
I
would
still don't
still
know.
disagree
I
with
don't know.
Kuljot, yeah, because see, I think it's at the end of the day, it is
Yeah.
just about the skill set. I really think that England bowlers do have that little edge over Indian bowlers. Yeah, I'm nothing taking away from Ishant Sharma and Jasprit Bumrah, but I think it's because of the conditions that the England fast bowlers play in, or they have usually
Yeah.
played, over the years, and that makes them, I would
Yeah.
say, I would give them that 51% edge and 49 definitely to India, just that 1% edge.
We don't even know what the.
Interesting. That's really
There's no
interesting.
talk about the lineup, so I don't
Siddharth.
even know who was bowling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
We
Siddharth
don't know
Regi
if we're
says
going to go two
Kohli
spinners.
big knock coming without a doubt. Yeah. Yeah. Nathan.
So I was just going to say, we don't even know if we're going to play two spinners. Joe Root asked Morinelli to stay on after the second test, which says he doesn't want to play Don Bez. But we don't know if we're going to go 4-1 with the bowling or 3-2. There's literally no talk, or there's nothing that's come out to say either or.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Makes
think
sense.
we will go
Um,
one day with that. Yeah.
yeah. Masoom says bowlers with 7 wickets in the New Zealand England women's ODIs. So yeah, 7 wickets were taken by the first 7 different bowlers in today's game. England won it quite comfortably. Heather Knight was playing on a different pitch altogether. The rest of the 21 players were on a different pitch, and that's the class of Heather Knight. And England won the game by 8 wickets, if I'm not wrong. Fairly comfortable win for England.
Sophia Custom's my favourite.
Shivam, yeah. My favorite was Sarah Taylor, but she's no longer in picture. But yeah. So she's sort of.
So I was just going to say,
I must say that. Yeah.
Sophia Custom plays for Lancashire.
Yeah, had to be. Shivam Patak says they did drop best. England's management is even more unpredictable than India's. The reason they gave was
I would actually like to. I
totally
would
wrong,
actually
but
like to have yeah.
fired. Yeah.
Yeah, I would actually like to have a comment from Nathan on this, that the dropping of Best. So Nathan, what I really feel is that Best, despite taking wickets in Sri Lanka and in the first test in Chennai, and why he was dropped, because I think it was probably because of the inconsistent line and lengths that he was usually bowling in those three tests.
Yeah.
What's your take on this?
Yeah, he's probably the luckiest bowler this year. Some of the wickets that he's got, I don't know how he's got him. So he starts just, he starts to just look better than his bowling.
Yeah.
I quite like his. If he could keep his look for the rest of the series, I think England wouldn't have even considered dropping him. But at some point, it's going to go the other way. But that's just our spinners in general. They don't get any spinning tracks. They barely get to bowl some of the county championship games just because they're such seam decks that there's no point of having them in. So how are they going to learn? He is a young guy, so he might come back in the future and be quite a decent bowler. So we'll see.
Right.
Yeah, we'll carry on with that discussion as we go on in the show. Pavan says it's going to be a cracking contest. Yes, Pavan. Paul Heyman is back in the comments today. Ladies and gentlemen, good
Yeah.
evening. But Brock Lesnar is not here today. Atul, I heard Mark Wood. I think there is it's something fishy. The moment Paul Heyman turns up, Atul comes up. Interesting. Shivam Patak, if that happens, then England wins. They managed to score 58 and we didn't. I'm not really getting the total 100% context here, but yeah.
No,
way
he
Pandya
says
plays tomorrow.
for 36 and 58.
Okay.
36
Okay.
and
Yeah.
58.
Fine. No way Pandya plays tomorrow. Only deciding factor is whether you need 25-30 overs from your fifth bowler, as per me. I doubt if you'll get even 5-10 overs from Pandya as it stands, because there
Yeah.
is still a lot of doubt as far as his bowling is concerned, whether or not he'll bowl is concerned. I mean, if he plays or not, that totally depends on his bowling, doesn't it? So as far as I
Right.
mean, as far as we've been updated, as far as I'm updated, or anyone on the panel, if they have any new information, I'd be glad to listen from them. But I don't think that would be the case. But yeah, let's see. I mean, you can always get surprised there. Shivam Patak says host is back.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll throw it back to him, Shivam. Just a couple of seconds. No
Yeah.
way. Siddharth says
just
no way
corrects,
Pandya plays tomorrow. Oh, sorry. He's just repeated the
Yeah, he
comment.
just corrects.
I guess.
Basically, he means to say that
Basically,
Pandya will play.
yeah. Let's see. Basically, the pitch has become Nala Sopora. Okay, that's interesting. Masoom, come to YouTube. Yeah, it'll be wherever you give the stats. I think that'll be great for us, Masoom. I was just kidding. No hope for England. Could England play Dom best? Yes, we'll come to that, Kuljot. Last comment, James wins in the last 5 T20 innings, 84, 16, 98, 46. Has had 5 balls per boundary. There's a decent strike rate there. Still, this guy is not a part of the England T20 team. He's in the PSL, isn't
Yeah.
he? Right now. I
Yeah.
think that's the only where they're potentially
We,
threat
we,
could
we
come up.
remember
So
we remember the 99 that he had. Unfortunate 99 in the BBL.
yeah. So back to you, Kushagra.
Hi guys, welcome. Thank you so much, Anurag, for taking care of the comments and of course the other duties. I just got a little late with my dinner, but nice to have Siddharth back. Welcome, bro. Hope आप से एकदम सही होंगे. Everyone's doing well. As far as the comments is concerned, I think we've got Nathan back in the stream as well. So we'll get him back. Yeah. So big day today. We take on England in the first day night test, apart from Eden Gardens, that has ever taken place in India. And I was listening to you guys. I was listening to Siddharth in particular as well. He was mentioning about wanting to see a test match that extends into the 4th and the 5th evening, as it would be now night, rather, fourth post dinner sessions on the 5th day maybe. But I think it's very important to note there as well. Virat Kohli had quite an interesting press conference today. I managed to catch it before I came here, and he sort of put water on the thought that the pitch is going to be extremely seamer friendly, or any quarter will be left for the English seamers, in the sense while England are looking at a 3-2 or maybe even a 4-1 combination, I think don't be surprised if it's a 2-2 plus like a Shardul or maybe like a Hardik combination, because from what I've heard from the conversations between Rahul Rawat and Vikrant Gupta, two of the people who are generally in the know when it comes to team and its compositions. Hardik Pandya has been bowling extensively in practice. He's been bowling with the pink ball from the start of the first test match. So it's not like he just picked up the pink ball right after the second test match. So it's been 3-4 weeks of continuously bowling with the pink ball. If not for now, I don't know which pink ball is he preparing for. I don't think India will play a day-night test match in England. I highly doubt it. They might, because again, the timings won't really make sense for the Indian audiences, and therefore, I don't think that would happen. But I don't know what is he practicing with the pink ball for, or maybe they're looking at him, playing him is like, maybe somewhat equivalent to playing Ben Stokes or something like that. I don't know. But if he's been practicing, clearly there must be a plan, and this Indian team, don't put it past them for, springing in a surprise. So you could see a Hardik Pandya. What I think you could really see is a Shardul Thakur. Someone like him. So he's with the Vijay Hazare Trophy. No. I'm sorry. What I meant to say was Mohammad Siraj. What you could really see is the Mohammad Siraj as a third seamer. But if they do trust Hardik Pandya and his fitness, and they do decide that we'll only ever bowl him in the pose in the second half of the second session or the third session, so that he doesn't have to take that load of the afternoon heat, then he could be played. And coming in at number 7, there aren't that many destructive batsmen in the world in the mold of Hardik Pandya. So let's see what happens. I would still stick with the lineup that we discussed all these days coming into the test match. We've discussed about Ishant, Siraj and Bumrah and Akshar and of course Ravi Ashwin. But let's see. I don't think there is any chance India going with a 4-1 combination of one spinner. There is absolutely no chance. I think there is more of a chance India going with a 2-3 with 3 spinners and only 2 pacers than there is with a chance of playing a 4-1. Because I think I think it will not be a big surprise if Siraj drops out for Bumrah and the 3 spinners are retained, because Kohli consistently spoke about how the pitch will turn, how the pitch will spin, and how, regardless of the fact that it's a pink ball test match, you cannot change the nature of the pitch that has been there at MOTERA for years and years. And even Rohit Sharma came out quite bullishly in his press conference yesterday as well, spoke about why do you guys keep talking about the pitch? Both the teams play on the same pitch. We never complain when we go there. When we are bounced out, people question our techniques, but when the English batsmen or when the visiting batsmen get out, people question pitches. I don't get it, which is such an honest point and such a natural point to make. And this is what we were talking about in the first 2 test matches as well. So I think don't be surprised. I think the grass is for show. It's like in Hindi we've got a saying, Nathan, an elephant has different teeth for show and different for eating. So this is something on those lines. I think people who got the Hindi muhavara got the reference. But the tusks that you see on an elephant aren't the teeth that he or she uses to eat. The teeth are still within the mouth. So these are more the tusks, which are pointless unless you're an illegal hunter. But beyond that, we'll move on. Pramesh, I'll quickly take the last 3-4 comments that have come in, and I'll come to you. And I think because that will be a lovely way for us to segue into the Ahmedabad test match. And also, Pramesh, once again, we'll also have you on the Vijay Hazare duty as well, because I think we do need to sum that up. Upul Taranga retires from international cricket. He scored almost 7,000 ODI runs for Sri Lanka with 15 centuries. Now, great servant of Sri Lankan cricket. It's just Sri Lankan cricket has not been in the news for the best reasons. Even Chamindavas resigned 2 days after actually having picked up the post, and all of that has been happening. They're able to sort all of that out, and India and Sri Lanka have a huge rivalry in the sense that I think Sri Lanka is one of the teams in the last 20 years we've played the most, and especially in white ball cricket. So I'd hope they'd they'll get back on track, and we can
basically play Sri Lanka when we have to score double hundreds. When our batsmen need to score double hundreds, we play Sri Lanka.
And we get the last time we went to Sri Lanka, we couldn't score that many double hundreds. So, but yes, of course, when they come here, I think I would still want Sri Lanka to be more competitive, man. Maybe when subcontinent cricket is more competitive. Nations, because I think you have more of a chance, more of a competition here. Virat in the press conference said, "I and MS share a great camaraderie and mutual respect is something you hold dear to your heart." Yeah, he's talking. He was asked about him surpassing Dhoni's record for most wins on Indian soil, and he said, I don't look at numbers. For me, the respect for the captain, he will always be my captain, and respect I have for him will not change whether any numbers change, and that's not something I look at. Rooting for an English side tonight and hoping that Root doesn't turn up for England tomorrow. All right, galat ho raha hai. There is a bit of a disturbance at someone's end. If you guys could check out, I think there's a little bit of a wind. I think if you guys could mute one by one. Someone is.
Sure.
Yeah,
We're fine. We're fine.
That's fine.
It's coming from Nathan. All right, we're fine. We'll keep coming to people individually. So that'll ensure you know when to unmute yourself. Timing of the day and night first test match, as we were discussing, Anurag, 2:30 to 4:30 the first session, 4:50 to 6:50 the second session, 7:30 to 9:30 the third session. Let's be honest, no team ever plays in their allotted time is gonna extend to half an hour, and we come come on to our 10 p.m. lives anyway. So I think this test match will be one of those gifts that keeps on giving for us. As soon as the day's play ends, we'll be back on the lives.
We'll be live.
Yeah. And you guys will get to see us.
Even when the game is not done, well, the game is maybe potentially happening there into the last final over, and we are live already.
Yeah. We'll be live at 10 o'clock no matter what. I don't think they'll extend beyond 10-1, 10-2 unless the last over really stretches. So yeah, just a thought. I know it would be highly unfair on Akshar, but if Pandya can bowl, that means Akshar is dropped. I still don't think so. I don't think so. I think Siraj is not picked. If Pandya can properly bowl, I think they don't pick Siraj. I think you still go with the two spinners. You still go with the two spinners. प्रॉब्लम ये है ना सिद्धार्थ, हमारा एक भी बैट्समैन हाथ नहीं घुमाता है, ये प्रॉब्लम है. उनका जो रूट डाल लेता है बॉल, तो आप 10 ओवर निकाल लेंगे जो रूट से. हमारा एक भी बैट्समैन कोई टाइम पास स्पिन भी नहीं करते. मतलब we used to have
स्पिन करते हैं. If you remember
मतलब टाइम पास ही करते हैं. Actually हम लोग जैसे हम लोग बहुत बार डिस्कस किया, सहवाग हो गया, रायना,
यूवी. The definition of a time pass spinner has changed quite drastically, hasn't it?
Yeah. It has. I think, पता है कोई आज एक question आया था. I think I was watching the Rahul Rawat Vikrant Gupta question answer session, and one of Shardul has gone to Jaipur and played for Mumbai today. Basum said confirms. Yeah, man, that was slip of my tongue. I'm sorry about that. But there was Siddharth says Kushagra translate more muhavras for the audience. All right.
There's a thing that I just want to say with respect to that question of with Hardik probably coming in for Akshar. I think with Virat we have more or less we have seen in the last few years is that he's known to make those big calls and those surprise moves, because in case you have that live grass on the pitch, which I think is what I have read on some news agencies, some reputed news agencies. So yeah, if that is the case, then I'm pretty much sure that I won't be surprised if India go with that combination of 4-1 in which you have 3 seamers, 1 pace bowling all-rounder, that's Hardik Pandya, and then 1 spinner, definitely R. Ashwin. So yeah, that I won't be surprised if that happens. But yeah, in Indian condition, it looks a bit unlikely. So a 3-2 combination is actually ideal.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And I think 3-2 will be the one that we go for. I still have my doubts over Hardik Pandya. Hardik Pandya really has to play a couple of test matches, bowl 20-25 overs each in both the test matches, and then I'll be able to tell you with confidence. Maybe last an entire series, like that entire tour of England. If he lasts the 5 test matches, then only you can say with some confidence, yes, he's played the IPL. Now he's played this test series. Hopefully he's also played the World Test Championship final as well. So yes, we can say he's back to his peak fitness, and we can again start trusting him as the permanent all-rounder in all 3 formats. And I still think even once that happens, if you're gonna play him as the all-rounder in the test format, you have to absolutely take away the bowling load in the white ball formats, because you have to keep him fresh for his batting, and you've got to develop other bowling options. No player can play all 3 formats as the all-rounder, as Ben Stokes has started showing now. I would rather Pandya bowls in test matches than he bowls in one day or T20s, because I think you can utilize his fielding and his batting way more in those formats. So I think this Indian team should look at that. 4 pacers and 1 spinner could be the combination. Shivam says could be that way. Another combination could be Hardik as third seamer and 2 spinners. I think if he is bowling, that could be the combination. I still don't think Hardik is playing. Joe Root said Pant is a fine player, plays some extraordinary shots. He makes it difficult for some bowlers to bowl at him. And extremely talented and has got a great game, but he will give you chances and we have to be ready for that. All right. Siddharth, of course, talking about that. Virat says Ishant Sharma. Of course, he was asked about the 100th test match that Ishant Sharma is playing. And Ishant Sharma started playing state cricket with me when he got selected. Yeah, I know. I saw this. He had to kick Ishant Sharma off the bed to give him the news. And Ishant didn't even believe Virat. I think Ishant Sharma made his debut against Bangladesh in that tour in 2007 after the disastrous World Cup for India. And he didn't believe Virat Kohli when Virat Kohli said, man, you've got to make a debut. You've been selected in the Indian team. So he says, we've got great trust between us and I hope he plays for India many more years to come. Virat's reaction was slight angrily. I mean, it wasn't. I didn't think it was angrily. He just said, it doesn't matter. He says, for both the teams, they both quite very well understand that if you look at other pink ball performances in other innings, beyond that, the teams haven't performed in that manner. And he spoke about that Adelaide test match, and let's be very honest, as Indian fans, we were very sure going into that morning that India were on top of the match. And we were expecting India to give them a target in the 4th innings. And he's just in those 45 minutes to an hour that absolutely took the match away. Butler, Pooran and Rabada will be playing in Manchester Originals. Nathan, is the team from Manchester really known as Manchester Originals?
Yeah.
He could not think of anything.
That's not my choice. What's your original?
Guys, Nathan's from Preston. He's not from Manchester. He's from Preston.
No, but the Manchester Originals covers
near Manchester.
He's near Manchester.
I'm assuming that's the franchise for you, right, Nathan? In the 100.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
so he's going to be.
I have a better name.
How disappointed are you with the name?
You're going to be the OG Mank, Nathan. You're the OG Mank.
Well, I'm happy with. Let's change the topic, and I'm happy we got Rabada.
Yeah. I know you got a couple of good players as well. He says you got Butler, Rabada, and Pooran. I think all 3 of them fantastic cricketers. Yeah. But also Nathan, Jonathan Agnew also. Sorry to interrupt you. Jonathan Agnew also mentioned in his interview. Yeah. He is from Leicester and he's got to support a team based out of Nottingham. And he said that's such a massive conflict of interest for me because we hate everything from Nottingham.
There is quite a rivalry in that area. It's quite a bit. It's the Midlands. It's about 2 hours away from me, but it's going to be interesting. The way Josh Butler and Co have been selected, it's based off the closest team to who they play for. So, like Josh Butler plays for Lancashire,
okay.
So that's why he's gone to Manchester. A couple of players have had to move around, so like Joe Root, because there's a couple of players playing for Yorkshire, whoever that is. I can't remember their names, but it's gonna be interesting. I'll give it a go, see what it's like. But I'm not buying a ticket just yet.
Yeah, we will have. I'm sure we will all keep a keen eye on it. Let's hope the OG Manx can do something. Kieran Pollard and Jai Richardson will be playing together in Welsh Fire. I think they I think these names must be placeholders. They cannot be real names, man. I mean, Welsh Fire, really.
Look at this name.
I understand Wales and Dragons. I get that, but Fire.
Yeah.
Jofra Archer. It's not original for you.
It's not original enough.
Which is better, Manchester Originals or Manchester Superkicks?
It's not our fault we're not brave enough. I couldn't resist.
Archer, Russell, Warner, Jordan, Stoinis will be playing together for Southern Brave. Wow, this, oh God.
Wow.
This
they could have named it after Southampton something.
he's like the entire South united for this. Like
Yeah.
everyone who belongs to London has to support Southern Brave. Is that something like that?
There's 2 teams in London.
Okay.
Someone that's just I can't remember the team. I can't remember many of the team names, to be honest.
Not worth
I remember my own at least. But there's 2. I know there's 2 in London. There's one in Durham, one in Lancashire, that's Manchester, and then there's a couple in the Midlands.
All right. No teams from the Northeast?
That's Durham.
Inside? Okay, Durham, yeah.
Durham's the Northeast.
Yeah. Harbhajan opens. Siddharth says Harbhajan opens for us. Who says our batsman can't bowl? All right. Siddharth, I'm not being able to get the comments on. Yeah, I can now.
Yeah.
Bounces to the lower order batsman. Umpires call, saliva ban, future of WTC. Okay, all these are the topics that was discussed. All right, Masoom, thanks. Ishant, Jasprit Bumrah is one bowler who can play a lot of test matches for India. He has to lead the way for youngsters. It would be important how he grooms the talent. Yes, Warner will be playing for New South Wales on March 4th against South Australia in the Marsh Cup. Okay. David Warner is someone who's confusing me.
Yeah, just a small update. I think as far as that MCC meeting is concerned, apparently there could come a verdict on umpire's call, and there is a chance that could be scrapped altogether. And if the ball is hitting, you're gone. If the ball is not hitting, you stay. I think apparently that is
I hope that
eventually what people
because
want
when
to
you
find
get
out.
bowled, because Anurag, when you get bowled, it doesn't matter if it's flicked the stumps or it is breaking the stumps into 2, is it?
Yeah. You're bored,
Exactly.
basically. That's it. Yeah.
I'm actually
think
surprised that they have to sit together and make a 2-day meeting for this to actually put into effect. Matlab,
Yeah.
ball hits, you're gone. Come on, man.
How many of England had going in their favour on the umpire's call? I don't know how to tell you my thoughts on the umpire's call.
To be fair, we suffered the same in Australia. Not a lot of us went.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an even split. Even split.
Umpire's call is an absolute snake. It could bite anyone in the ass on any given day. So I think it's better that everyone remains unanimous on this and say no to it, because you never know.
By the way, welcome Rohan. I know. I have not addressed
Rohan.
that. Thanks for joining.
Rohan, I was just reading your article.
To be honest, we
Rohan,
have
I was
not
just reading your
recognized Rohan
article.
as well.
Yeah.
What is this? What do you have to say about this?
Yeah, on what source it is based on? Yeah,
It is likely. It is likely. Likely is
Likely? Again.
All right.
Answer
Rather than going after Rohan, I will be savior. We talk about Chris Gayle, the man who never retires. We will retire from talking about cricket. He will still be playing cricket. I think Chris Gayle has left for West Indies for the national duties. He'll be playing the T20 series against Sri Lanka from March 4th to 8th. Amazing. I'm pretty sure Chris Gayle is going to play the next 2 T20 World Cups. And if he performs very well in the second T20 World Cup and also the IPL, he might be in consideration for 2023 World Cup also. Let's not be surprised thinking 2019 was his last edition. It's Chris Gayle, he can do anything.
Kushag, I have a point to say here that you said that there's a guy, there's this Chris Gayle who doesn't announce his retirement, and then there is someone from Pakistan who retires on occasional basis and celebrates the 40th anniversary of his 24th birthday every time. I'm sorry.
This was.
I had to bring in. I'm sorry.
We officially lost 16 subscribers from Pakistan.
But talking about Pakistan, even their golden oldies, they're performing so well, especially Mohammad Hafiz. I think he's a man reborn.
Look
at his last 30 international innings. The man cannot stop scoring, and the sixes he hits, they're so clean, beautiful hits. if there's green grass on the pitch, as Siddharth mentioned, will England pundits still cry over the pitch after losing? Come on, let's see the pitch. We'll talk about the pitch enough tomorrow evening, and Shivam, I think we'll get a better picture. Wow, Masoom, you just spoiled Manchester for me. All right. Surya says Shashank Sharma, no disrespect, but apart from right, and best comedians next. All right. Yeah, Surya and Shashank. Sorry, I know. I've skipped over your comments. We really don't want to get into all of that because I think that's quoting unnecessary controversy. Let's not get into it. I know I'm 12 years late, but Manchester Originals is still better. Is a better name than Mumbai Indians. No, Siddharth. I'm sorry. I think Manchester Originals is not better. I am on the panel. I won't agree. I won't agree. I don't think Mumbai Indians is the creative name. I don't agree there.
Yeah, it isn't. It's the most non-creative name.
It could have been a lot better. But still, Manchester Originals.
Really? Kushagra, the OG Manchester is here. See, this is the OG Manchester. Those are just some other Manchester non-original.
Kushagra, there is that
Prediction.
Game of Thrones dialogue. The Game of Thrones dialogue, like the one who has to say, "I am the king," is no true king.
No true king. Oh, yes.
Therefore, CSK are the champs. Prediction: England won the toss and elected to bat first. UPCA in a press release said that Indian women's and SA women's team would be arriving in Lucknow on the 25th February for 5 ODIs and 3 T20Is starting March the 7th. I think that they're all going to be in Lucknow and Kanpur, if I'm not wrong. I don't think they're going to shift that bases as such. They might all be in Lucknow itself, right, at the new Atal Bihari Vajpayee Stadium.
Yeah, the Ekana Stadium.
Rising Pune Supergiant sounds pretty good after these teams, huh? Yeah, man. Even Kochi Tuskers Kerala, Shashank says, yeah, absolutely.
No, Rising if Pune the Supergiant would never sound good. Sorry, never.
No,
honestly,
if the
even
Sunrisers
is not a great team, man.
Yeah, Navjeevan, I get your point. If the bail does not come out come off from the stumps, yes, I agree. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't getting that much. And umpire's call was introduced because many feel the projection of the ball. This is something that I would like to discuss actually. Once we go ahead, but I'll come straight to Pratmesh. I've been taking the comments for too long. Rohan looking like a Sudrava Bacha. Stop changing your looks every week, Rohan. Shivam is saying. People want some consistency from your end, brother. Mumbai Indians is a far better name than Chelsea.
That's not so football.
Nathan specifically wants to ignore football. This conversation yesterday, Nathan. It's okay.
Come on, OG Manchester is winning the league. Pratmesh, got to go, guys. Had fun. All the best. Thank you, man. Thank you for joining. The newly appointed Sri Lanka captain Dasun Shanaka couldn't make it with the team to West Indies due to visa issues. Oh God! All at Lucknow. Masoom confirms. I feel bad for Sri Lanka, man. Will anything ever drop in their favor? I mean, Shivam, let's not resort to rioting. All right. And Pratmesh, on that note, I'll come to you, man. First, can you just sum up the Vijay Hazare Trophy action today for us? Before your take on the India Test match, the third Test match starts today tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah. Okay. So Kushagra, you've given me an official segue for a monologue. That's really nice. I'm so happy.
Man, for sure.
Yeah.
Take it away.
So basically, coming to the first thing that would really make all people in Delhi, based nearby Delhi, really happy. Delhi won today by a huge margin. Batting first score 354. In which Nitish Rana scored 137, Dhruv Shore scored 132, and then bowling they bowled really well. Kulwant Kejorlia took 4 wickets. Pradeep Sangwan took 2 wickets. Pradeep Sangwan, Kushagra, I want you to remember this name very, very fondly. Coming to
Pradeep Sangwan.
Yes, Pradeep Sangwan. I want you to remember.
There is a P Sangwan that still hurts me and haunts me after 2008 auctions.
That is the same guy.
Yeah, that's the same.
Yeah, I know. I hope you know what you're talking about. But yeah,
that is exactly why. That is exactly why I'm telling this to you. I want to
always kicking a man while he's down. Right? Lovely.
Suresh Kumar, by the way, was a top scorer for them with 42 of 53 balls of Puducherry. They couldn't really muster up a huge total. And coming back, as a proud Mumbaiker myself, Mumbai today pulled off a victory against the Maharashtra Ranji team. It was Yash Nahar for Maharashtra scored 119, Azim Kazi scored 104. At one point, there were 38 for Maharashtra. They still managed to score 279. Dhaval Kulkarni took 5 wickets. He's having a good start to the season, 8 wickets in 2 games. So that's not bad at all. Shardul Thakur did bowl in this game, took a wicket and conceded 57 runs. And then for all, again, a little bit of happiness for Indian cricket fans and for Delhi Capitals fans. Shreyas Iyer scored 103.
Yes.
Shivam Dubey scored 47. So good news for you, Nathan. Your Rajasthan signings is scoring runs here. And Sarfaraz Khan was the one who finished the game along with Shreyas Iyer. Yashasvi Jaiswal scored 40. Another good news for Rajasthan. Prithvi Shaw also got off to a start. So did Surya Kumar Yadav, but none of them could really convert those starts. So that was one of the results again. Another really interesting result from the northeast part of the country. Meghalaya scored 319 against Sikkim, wherein Puneet Bish, their captain and their wicketkeeper, scored 116 off just 80 balls with a strike rate of 145, 9 fours, and 6 sixes. A really good innings from him. And chasing, obviously, they fell short. Did Sikkim and Meghalaya won by 88 runs. A really good bowling performance today by Deepu Sangma. He had 10 overs, one made in 33 runs and 2 wickets in a slightly higher scoring game. So really good performance by him today. Coming to the another interesting result, I think this one will make Anurag slightly happy. I'm hoping. Uh, I'm just trying to get onto that result, the details of it. But yeah, I think good results today again in the Vijay Hazare Trophy. Chandigarh won against Bengal, so Bengal have their first defeat of the season after last time having
Right.
beaten their rivals. Uh, Uttarakhand also managed to beat Manipur in a very low scoring game. Jammu Kashmir and Services was a very interesting game. Jammu Kashmir won the game in the 48th over, wherein Services batted first and scored 274. Ravi Chauhan scoring 118, and then it was a good innings by Shubham Khajoria and Shubham Pundit. Both Shubhams got together and took Jammu Kashmir over the line. So a good result for the Jammu Kashmir team again. So I think good results overall. So Maharashtra also won a very
Just
interesting
to add
game.
on, Prathamesh,
Yeah.
just to add on to the Jammu Kashmir game, the match-winning knock really in that game came from Abdul Samad. He
Yeah.
scored like 35 odd balls, like 65, 70, something like that. I don't remember. I just saw an update of it. Apparently, that was the one
Okay.
which really changed the picture.
Yeah.
Okay, so that, like really interesting and good sign for you, Anurag, as well, because I'm pretty sure you will be happy with Abdul Samad scoring the kind of runs that he did. So again, overall good day in the Vijay Hazare Trophy. Yes, Abdul Samad did score 38 balls, 63 with a strike rate of 165, 6 fours and 4 sixes. He just reversed the numbers in a way. But yes, good to see the Vijay Hazare Trophy is taking a lot of centuries, a lot of 5 wicket hauls here and there. Obviously, we had reports which Masum confirmed that there are a few players who are in the Ranji Trophy, sorry, who are in the Vijay Hazare Trophy have been found COVID positive. So that will be something that we will have to look forward to. Just saw a video today of Kunal Pandya celebrating his century and dedicating it to his father. Unfortunately, we didn't get a broadcast to that, but it was his first ever century in the Vijay Hazare Trophy, so it definitely means a lot to him. Coming to the India England game, and I know a lot of people have said it just summed up like a radio commentary. So thank you for that. I genuinely love radio commentary. So if I sounded like one, I'm extremely happy about that. Coming to the India England game, as I said yesterday, I feel the pitch is going to be like the traditional MOTERA pitches again. There is no doubt about that. You can't change the pitch or the mid the jaga ki mitti, what people call it, the mud of that area. You just can't change it at all. uh, so I think it will behave in the same way. The good thing is that since it's a new pitch, probably before it starts dismantling a little, it will probably need an innings or innings and a half. So that would be a good thing. I think that is exactly why they kept that grass on to keep that balance for the pitch so that it doesn't get disintegrated early on. There is a little bit of grass. So Nathan, I think if you bowl first, you might actually be able to use that grass. Having said that, probably still the best time to bat is in the first innings, which is obvious in India. Um, Coming to India's composition again, I feel Hardik Pandya, huge question marks over whether he can bowl 10 overs, 15 overs, etc. But again, I feel just like Hardik Pandya would be someone like Indian team shouldn't be using right now. But we have seen Hardik Pandya train with the pink ball since the first test. We have seen Hardik Pandya release images of him being fit. And usually when Hardik Pandya says he's fit, he's fit. That's the kind of fitness that Hardik Pandya has maintained over the I think last 2 years. That's the fitness regime that he has been following since he got back into the circuit, back into the IPL. He's been very strict about the fact that he didn't want to bowl in the IPL because he could bowl for India, and I think he's followed that regime. And if he's bowling now, he's match fit enough to at least bowl 10 overs. So I feel if Hardik is fit, I would probably go for basically Akshar, Ashwin, Bumrah, Ishant, and Hardik as the bottom five. Obviously, Hardik will be number seven, Ashwin number eight, which also and Aksar number nine, which is a huge batting. It's a good. It's a benefit. The benefit is that you have a long tail here. So if India are to bat second, it will be extremely crucial that long tail will come to get great effect if you have to chase a total as well. In the fourth innings. Apart from that, I am really looking forward to James Anderson because I know he said that he won't be able to get that much reverse swing. But we all know what Jimmy can do if the ball has a little hint of reverse swing, especially in that twilight phase when it's difficult to spot the ball. I think that's when James Anderson can absolutely come into his own. He might just need 3 or 4 overs to dismantle half the Indian batting in that period if he's on his own and if he's doing the kind of things that James Anderson usually does. So that is really, really key for India and also for England, I feel, because I think then what happens is you completely change the balance of the game. For England, a lot of questions over whether Anderson would play or whether Broad would play or both of them should play. I would genuinely feel it will be unfair to rest Ollie Stone because he put on a really good performance on a Chennai pitch that was offering him absolutely nothing. Ollie Stone really bowled well. Usually, you would go for Anderson on this kind of a wicket, which is very obvious. And then probably Archer might play as well, which means Broad might miss out. Vokes will definitely miss out. If Ben Stokes is not bowling, what do you do? Do you rest? You rest Ollie Pope and you give that chance to Chris Vokes and say, okay, Chris Vokes can bat as well. So huge questions for England there. For India, I feel that's only one question is whether Hardik plays or not. If Hardik does not play, Umesh plays. If uh, if Hardik plays, then he plays and comes in place of Siraj. So that's the thing which I feel India could do. And looking forward to 55,000 people in the MOTERA. It would be an absolute spectacle in itself. To be honest, more so looking forward to the 55,000 during the day test match because in the red ball, in that kind of a heat, the effect that the crowd can generate for the Indian team will be something else. Night test matches, me usually you don't feel that heat in Ahmedabad. It gets slightly cooler, so you're still more comfortable playing. But when bowlers are bowling long spell in that kind of an environment during the day, especially around 12 o'clock or something after lunch, that is when that crowd could come on its own and absolutely galvanize in this Indian team. Fourth test, I hope I can go as well. But yeah, all is well, and then we can go as well. Let's make a plan to go there.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, Pratmesh. I think very well summed up there. Thank you, of course, also for the Vijay Hazare update. As Siddharth says playfully, he says, Pratmesh with the Vijay Hazare chatterbox as well. Just a cheap plug for Pratmesh's ISL chatterbox, guys. He's live weekly there, reviewing and previewing the league stages, as it were. As we know, we're in the final week. ATK Mohan Bagan versus Mumbai City
Oh,
FC.
forgot to thank Hyderabad FC on the live because obviously the live was before the game. I'm going to thank Anurag for that. Let's see. Sunday is a big day now.
Yeah, for sure. I'll take a few quick comments. Before I come to Rohan for his point of view on the all important match that is there tomorrow, and I'll also give you a PSL update after the comments. Rishi Dhawan was good today, of course. 6 for and 70 plus score to carry his team. He's been a very, very good servant for Himachal Pradesh. And bails were introduced as it was getting tough to identify if the balls hit the stumps or not. Now that we've got LED light stumps, are bails even relevant? I think they're just, I think they're great for the show of the game. I think they're part of the game now. I don't think that's something that you get rid of. I just feel like, it's just the additional aspect of the game, bails flying off. It's just fun to watch. I think also if you closely measure it, they do increase the surface area of the stump. There's a slight bit of couple of inches there above the stump where the ball can flick the bail out and you can get out. So yeah, it's fun. Today, an cut was amazing with the bat and helped Saurashtra win the game by a wicket. Great work. Pradeep Sangwan was also a good bowler, but definitely not better than Kohli. I mean, I'm not even getting into that, Shashank. I've cried about that enough for 13 years now. The grass has been cut down to look like a place that's on the verge of being declared a desert.
So it's the second test, really.
Yeah.
He's just put a bucket load of water onto Nathan Soaps. Surya says the guys at Hawkeye said that if the projection says the ball is hitting the stumps, it is surely 100% hitting. But the projection says greater than 50% hitting / missing, then they're not sure. Hence umpire's call. Surya says. I think it's or missing. Yeah, I think it's the technology that we should talk about, not the umpire's call. Umpire's call was put in as some sort of a corrective rider, but once you can see things which are very apparent and incorrect, but the system's showing as a 50.1 and 49.9% error. So I mean, you really cannot do much. Either you accept a standard or you don't accept a standard. If you're willing to accept any part of the ball touching the stumps is out, then you got to accept any impact anywhere within the line is out. So I think you've got to make a couple of other changes as well, because it's also on impact. What is the umpire's call on an impact then? If the ball hits you, half the ball hits you in front of the off stump, the other half is not hitting you in front of the off stump. Is it out? Is it not out? I think you're just getting too much into the technical aspects of it. I genuinely won't mind us just removing DRS and leave it to the umpires. I mean, I still, you talk about umpires, give everyone a. I mean, anyways, similar footing. Yeah. Summing up Vijay Hazare sounded like radio. Well done. Shashank says, if third umpire is still piss poor in this match, I'll snap. Amit says, doesn't happen. Let's hope that doesn't happen, Amit, for you. And Anurag definitely had to bring an SRH player in the mix. Yes, Abdul Samad, of course. Kohler called more, killing it today. Surya says, Gurvinder Bajwa scored 156 from 45. Oh, bapre.
ECS Spain tournament. What would be the the probability of a Bajwa playing in Spain? Like Indian players, Pakistani players, Sri Lankan players are playing.
I mean, of course. Irrelevant. The guy played 45 balls out of 60. That's what I'm shocked.
Yeah, wow. And Shashank says, do you think T20 effect on 50 over games? T20 effect is there on 50 over games. Everyone scoring 100 in Vijay Hazare at a strike rate of 120 plus. I think, Shashank, it's not just Vijay Hazare. I think it's overall one-day cricket. You can see 350s being consistently chased, 350s, 380s are being consistently scored. So I think the T20 effect is there. Siddharth Bhai talking about Pak Oldies, Kamran Akmal did very well today. Yes, I'm going to give you a quick PSL update as well. Told you last night England women's team is much more balanced. Amit says, yes, glad to see Anurag's Wi-Fi is finally working. Amit, read the caption on Krunal Pandya 100 post today. All right, read the. Okay, all right. I have not had a chance to read the caption. Who was the last guy to score 100 in the ping ball test? I don't remember. Can you help, guys? It was Virat Kohli. Let's hope he's the next guy as well. Welcome, Pratmesh, Virat. Of course, Amit.
Shivam. After Joe, I think that was Ben Stokes, Sibley. Maybe after Amy from Kohli.
Loads of people have made ping ball hundreds. I think Shivam is purely talking about the Indian scenario there. Virat bowling with the pink ball, Shashank says. This is only possible if two bowlers.
If you remember his under-19 World Cup intro video for Virat Kohli, the confidence with which Virat Kohli says, I'm a right ball quick bowler, right arm quick bowler. You just see the confidence with which Virat Kohli says he's a right arm quick bowler, and the way he actually did bowl in the tournament. He was pretty quick and he was pretty good. But then I just felt it was really interesting the way he said that, and he also talked about Harshal.
Menon and Chaudhary are the on-field umpires in the ping ball test.
By the way, just to add to what Pratmesh says, Virat Kohli did mention in that video that Harshal Gibbs was his favorite cricketer, and today is Harshal Gibbs' birthday, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, very, very happy birthday to Mr. Harshal Gibbs. If Hardik comes, will he come after or before? Yeah, will he come after or before Pant? Tejdeep, I think seniority basis, I think he'll come after Pant, because Pant has been in spectacular form. You don't take the number 6 from Pant now. Surya says, Shivam, Manas Labuschagne 143 against New Zealand at Perth. Brother, he's talking for India. A superb knock too. I remember that one. This means no one else in the world has scored a century in that time span pink ball test. Okay, yes. I know we'll not get into that conversation, Shom, here. That's the game in which Smith played 40 balls without scoring. Thanks, Surya. Unfortunately, COVID cases are rising. Looks like the second wave. Let's see if the crowd is allowed or not going forward, Navjeevan says. Thought we were talking about India and England, Amit. Surya is asking Surya. All right, good vibes. Okay, these are the different conversations going on in the comments. Warner's 300, Labuschagne's 162 and 143, and Yasir's 113 were the ones who scored last few centuries in the ping ball game. Yes, I remember Yasir Shah scoring.
Yasir's, yes.
That's a moment. To be frank, umpire's call for impact makes more sense since the umpire gives no reason for his decision. Agree with Kushagra on that. Makes no sense. Yeah. That's why I was confused. How does he say more sense and then agree with me? I was confused. I was like, I said it makes no sense. Rohan following the 44-minute tradition today. Yes. I think it's a 55-minute tradition right now for Rohan. But yeah, he joined in a slightly late, so I guess that's that. Pratmesh, career khatam tera, iske baad Virat tak pahunch jayegi. He's saying, the video will reach Virat and, Pratmesh's career. He'll come back. Rohan, how do you look at this test match? And before you tell us, I'll just give a quick PSL update. It is, as soon as I refreshed it, Shofin Rutherford has gotten out. Peshawar Zalmi still needs 41 of 21 deliveries. They're chasing a target of 194, 193 for 4 is what Multan Sultan's made. The captain and wicketkeeper, of course, Rizwan scored 41 of 28. James wins. We were talking about that. I think Anurag took a comment as well. 84 of 55. Maqsood scored 36 of 21. Bowlers were quite all over the place clearly for Peshawar. Saqib Mahmood, I think this is the English bowler. He took 2 for 36, so that's not so bad. But apart from that, Wahab Riaz, none for 51. Mujib, none for 40. Irfan, 1 for 41. Mohammad Imran, credit where credit is due, 1 for 24 in his 4. Here as well, bowlers have been carted out for runs. Sohail Tanveer, none for 40 in his 3. Shahid Afridi, none for 38 in his 4. Usman Qadir picked up a wicket, 1 for 29 in his 4. Along with that, Carlos Bradford, again, none for 29 in his 3. We've got Imam Hulak, who scored 48 of 39. Kamran Akmal, 37 of 24. Tom Kohler Cadmore is still batting 47 of 30 and still, 41 of 21. I think that's a tough task for Peshawar Zalmi, but we'll come to you. Of course, Rohan, how do you look at the third test match? What will be your bowling combinations? What will be your batting combinations? And just beyond that, just a word from you as well on the MOTERA Stadium, the largest cricket ground in the world. And Virat was also asked a couple of questions around the stadium because, Siddharth also, I think, mentioned it earlier. The floodlights are different here. Floodlights are on top of the ring that's there in the ground, and the LED lights. So, he was asked questions about difficulties in fielding and everything else. He said we practiced in the afternoon, we practiced in the evening, and in the end, he rounded it off by saying both the teams are playing the same conditions. So, it's the same for everyone. So, yeah. It's up to you.
Yeah, I think rather than talking too much about players and pitch kaisa hoga and all, I think the excitement is more about the day-night test returning at that humongous stadium. I think that's what, as fans, we should be more excited about. कौन खेलेगा? कोई हार्दिक खेलेगा बढ़िया, उमेश खेलेगा बढ़िया, सिराज खेलेगा बढ़िया, इंग्लैंड को will anyways defeat. So I think that's none of the concern also. And मुझे इतना टेंशन भी नहीं है उस बात का. Whoever plays, it's good enough for the team. 11 players होंगे, that's what matters. So, but more excitement is about कि pink ball test है. We'll play against England, against a good England side, and जो environment वहाँ पे create होगा with the fans. So that's what excites me right now. And team की अगर बात करें तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि हम लोग को इतना ज्यादा सोचना चाहिए कि अभी परसों कौन सा मैच है, तरसों कौन सा मैच है, एक महीने बाद कौन सा मैच है, गलती से हार्दिक पांड्या ने 5 ओवर कर दिए, चोट तो नहीं लग जाएगी. अरे भाई, he is not that sensitive. He's a national player playing for the country. हम लोग इतना टेंशन नहीं ले सकते कि वो इतना सेंसिटिव हो जाएगा. 2 महीने का आईपीएल भी खेलेगा, वो कुछ नहीं होगा उसको. वो फुदक के नाचेगा, लॉन्ग ऑफ से लॉन्ग ऑन छलांग मारेगा, कोई टेंशन नहीं होगी, आफ्टर लाइक पार्टीज होंगी, इन सब पे सब लोग मस्त होंगे, कोई टेंशन नहीं होने वाली। एक 10 ओवर का 15 ओवर करने से चोट लग जाएगी, आई डोंट थिंक कोई भी इशू होने वाला है ऐसा। गलती से इंजरी होता भी है तो ही विल रिकवर इन टाइम। T20 वर्ल्ड कप को भी बहुत टाइम है। इंग्लैंड टूर को, लाइक उमेश यादव के लिए लोग इंग्लैंड टूर तक बचाने की बात कर रहे हैं, इंग्लैंड टूर को अभी इतना टाइम है, तब तक कोरोना का अगला स्ट्रेन आके चला भी जाएगा, लोग वैक्सीनेट होके शायद रिकवर हो भी जाएंगे, पता नहीं क्या क्या हो जाएगा दुनिया में। सो आई डोंट थिंक हम लोग इतना लंबा का क्यों सोचते हैं। इट्स लाइक जाकिर खान ने एक बार बात की थी कि कल का ताजमहल किसको चाहिए, आज का झुमरे तलैया बताओ। सो आई थिंक So I think that's what matters. कल का मैच इज द मोर इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग। अगर हार्दिक पांड्या इनको लगते है कि ही इज गुड इनफ, गो प्ले हिम। इन्हें लगता है उमेश यादव इज गुड इनफ ऑन दैट पिच, अगर ग्रास ज्यादा है दे नीड समवन लाइक उमेश यादव, गो प्ले हिम। और इन्हें लगता है कि गलती से रिवर्स मिल रहा है किसी भी वजह से, सिराज कैन गेट दैट रिवर्स स्विंग, गो प्ले हिम। इट्स एज सिंपल एज दैट। इंजरी की वजह से इन्हें नहीं सोचना, इन्हें पिच के हिसाब से सोचना है कि कंडीशंस कैसी है, उसके हिसाब से हमारा बेस्ट 11 क्या होगा। So whoever plays, I think India will like field a smart team. I've been very impressed with how this team has been choosing their playing 11. I think काफी exciting है। Like हमें हमेशा इतना impress नहीं करते as fans, क्योंकि हम लोग थोड़ा इमोशनल सोचते हैं, बट आई थिंक ये लोग प्लानिंग करके सोचते हैं। रवि शास्त्री को लोग कितना भी ब्लेम करें, आई थिंक he has been instrumental in these past few months for the success of the team. Stop criticizing that man. मतलब आई एम नॉट अ बिग फैन ऑफ हिम, बट आई थिंक वो लोग अभी अगर रिजल्ट्स डिलीवर कर रहे हैं, लाइक शाहबाज नदीम अगर वर्क कर जाता है तो ही वुड हैव बीन अ सेंसेशन, है ना। अब वो डे वन का पिच ही ऐसा था, लाइक शाहबाज नदीम वाज अ स्मार्ट चॉइस। मैं अगर अभी बोलूं तो उन्होंने एम्बलडेनिया फुल रिक्रिएट किया, वो पिच ने असिस्ट नहीं किया तो हम क्या कर सकते हैं। कोई टेंशन नहीं है, रवि शास्त्री के साथ किसी का सपोर्ट ना हो, मेरा सपोर्ट हमेशा है। And I think that's what matters to him. So I think that's it from my end. Like Nathan, we will defeat you guys hopefully with whoever we play. Jai Mata Di.
That is the single greatest monologue in the history of TSG.
The comments, Nathan, I'm so sorry. I don't think I can truly translate everything because it'll take me forever. And also, I think you probably grasp the emotion of it. He was just in the sense. I think 2 bits of what he was trying to say is don't look at so much when it comes to 6 months down the line, 12 months down the line, 18 months down the line. He's talking about if Hardik's available, if he can bowl, play him today. Don't worry about him getting injured. He's an international athlete. He's a world class talent, and his body should be able to withstand the rigors. While I agree with you, Rohan, like I agree in the sense, always you need to look at present rather than being consumed by the past or the future. I think it's the uncertainty and it's the consistent breaking down of his body that Hardik and Pandya that has got the team management worried. If he were fit, I get your point. Rohan, if he were fit on that Australian tour, he could have honestly played as a batsman. He would have been a very good addition for this Indian team as a batsman, but he's had his rest. He's come back. He's not played the first 2 test matches. Whether he plays or not, I just hope, whenever he plays, whichever is the game, there isn't a doubt in his mind that if I can bowl at 145, I will bowl at 145. I'll not conserve my body at 125, 130, just so that I can maintain my place as a bowling all-rounder who can roll around my arm and bowl medium pace. No, if you bowl at 145, bowl 5 overs less in a day, but bowl that speed. That is the question. If you can bowl quick bouncers, you can go to the throat of the batsman, then do that. Bend your back for 5 overs if you can do that. That is something we spoke about yesterday as well. I think Anurag also mentioned it earlier as well. Umesh Yadav is just wonderful how he's kept up that pace, injury after injury, setback after setback. He's never compromised on that pace. He's never compromised on that searing ball that comes in, that quick bouncer that he has had always from 2010-11 when he started with the Indian team till today. If you see, he's the one bowler whose pace has never wavered. I think Mohammad Shami's actually gone up in pace. Umesh Yadav has stuck with 140, 145 range. the entire time, and that's a genuine fast bowler. 10
That is
years.
Kushagra exactly when the entire world has asked him to change his pace so that he could maintain accuracy. He said, "No, this is my
No.
pace. This is my skill set." And no matter
So
what
many
people say, just look
interviews.
at his records. Just look at his records. His records in the last 4 years in India.
So many
Absolutely
interviews he's done. And he said, "This is my biggest weapon. Why are you asking me to trade this off?" I'll quickly take a few comments, and then we'll quickly have the final comments from especially from Siddharth and Nathan, just on the eve of the third Test match, and of course from the rest of the panelists as well. My India 11 for the third Test match. Masoom says Gill, Rohit, Pujara, Kohli, Rahane, Pant, Ashwin, Akshar, Umesh, Ishant, and Bumrah. Yeah, I think Masoom, that could be the 11. Instead of Siraj, I'll go with Siraj instead of Umesh, just because don't want to rush him after the injury. Amit says, okay. Shashank also giving his 11. Gill, Rohit, VK, Pujara, Ajinkya, Pant, Ash, Akshar, Kuldeep, Bumrah, and Ishad. Wow, that's
basically the same team.
brother.
The same team.
Yeah, all right. Siraj has 100 in the first class cricket, Navjeevan says. All right. I still think pink ball will be difficult for him, bro. Shivam is also given his 11. Gill, Rohit, Pujara, Kohli, Rahane, Patu. I'll just say first 6 are constant. Hardik, Ashwin, Akshar, Ishant, and Bumrah. All right. I think he's taken Hardik as a third fast bowling option. They are not floodlights. They're LED lights, which causes less glare, heat, and shadow. All right. That's what we mentioned. They're not floodlights. They're LED lights. That's what I mentioned. They're there on the rim. He was asked questions about it being a different way to adjust, and he said we've been fine. We've been seeing the ball fine, and he ended off the statement by saying it's the same for both the teams. So it really hardly doesn't matter for us. Translate it for Nathan, please. All right, Rohan is the best. कोई भी खेले इंडिया के जीतने से मतलब है. इस बार I hope Chelsea finishes 5th and plays Europa League happily. The football content will never go.
Yeah.
I'll move and where is all right. I seem to have lost the comments. Yes. Translate कल का ताजमहल किसको चाहिए? आज की झुमरी तलैया चाहिए. I think he's talking about who wants the. I think it's more like it's.
How do you translate Jhumri Talaiya, man?
No, it's better to have a bird in hand than two in the bush. Something like that, right?
Yes.
I think it's something on those lines. Better to have a bird in hand than two in the bush. So I think something on those lines. Maybe not.
Maybe, yeah.
Ishant's 100th Test match. Kohli's 100. Ashwin's 400 wickets. Can we all have in this match? As first of all, I think I've got something stuck in my throat. I'll just quickly. Yeah, I'm coughing. It's not the elbow cuff. I think whatever happens, I just want India to win. If none of those things happen, of course, Ishant 100 will happen. This is going to be interesting, Shashank. Navjeevan says, Siddharth says, Rohan Gulati, day-night period is sensitive time. Oh, all right. Yeah. Okay. Someone translate this, Nathan. All right, Amit. I tried my best.
We tried.
Yes, Rohan, your support truly matters to Ravi Shastri. The most rightly said. Now I know why Rohan speaks just for 5 minutes in 100-minute live. He sums up the feeling. Koi bhi khelo, 11 players to honge bas aur India jeetne. He says anyone plays, there'll just be still only be 11 players and India should win. That's what Rohan essentially says all the time, and I think he's right. Shivam says TSD team should allow Rohan a monologue video every week. Every day is what we tell him.
Every day.
If he's kind enough to come every day, he'll, him and Atul, they're the MVPs of banter. Rohan's words are quicker than Archer's bouncers. Beat that Jafra. Rohan has seen Pyar Ka Panchnama. What a monologue. Jhumri Talaiya, Google Translate, block me, man. All right.
I mean, how do you do that? Yeah.
I have no idea. All right. Before I come to anyone, I'll come to Siddharth. Siddharth, for your final comments of the day. What about the third Test match? I know it's a oft repeated question to ask you for the 11. Forget the 11. You've already told us enough number of times. How do you see this Test match panning? Over the next 3, 4, 5 days. That's going to be just a couple of predictions from your end. First of all, how many days that this Test match will go into, and will there be any centurions? If any, if you could name one each from both team, or you could just name 2 from one team if you think. there are going to be more centurions in our team as compared to the other.
Sure. Just one clarification before I answer your question. That Mohammad Siraj hasn't scored 100 in first class cricket. He does not even have a 50. So just to clarify that comment, whosoever.
Oh, he hasn't. I was just reading the comments. My apologies for that.
So yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, there's nothing wrong you did, but the comment was definitely wrong. Yeah, but yeah, coming back to your question, I think see, Kushagra, it's very much going to boil down to the fact, as I mentioned earlier in the show, कि टॉस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रहेगा. Yes, of course, एक टीम टॉस जीतेगी वो तो बट ऑब्वियस है, बट एट द वेरी सेम टाइम आई थिंक जो भी टीम टॉस जीतती है यहाँ से, एंड इफ लेट्स से इफ दे डिसाइड टू बैट फर्स्ट, then yes, it could actually hold that advantage. And secondly, I think due factor, because we really do not know as to कितना ड्यू पड़ेगा 5-6 बजे के बाद, एंड अगर एक्चुअली में ज्यादा ड्यू होता है देन तो एक्चुअली में जो पिंक बॉल का फिर जो सबसे ज्यादा इंपैक्ट होता है, और वो हमने देखा है कि वो फ्लड लाइट्स में ज्यादा होता है, जिस टाइम पे जो दोनों टीम्स के जो फास्ट बॉलर्स हैं वो बहुत ज्यादा लीथल हो सकते हैं, आई थिंक वो वाला जो पार्ट है वो बिल्कुल ही फिर हट जाएगा, वो बिल्कुल ही नेगेट हो जाएगा. तो उस हिसाब से if that if the due factor definitely comes into picture, why not this match could actually go down to 5 days. ये बिल्कुल हो सकता है. But now there comes this big but. If there is no due, on a personal note, I really don't want to see a 2.5 or 3 day finish. I want to see a good contest. Yes, may the best team win, definitely. But see, it is, I think it's at the end of the day, yes, it's very important that one of the let's say one of 3 teams, India, England or Australia, they're going to play New Zealand in the final of the World Test Championship. So yes, वो बहुत important है, but I think above all, for let's say कि game बहुत अच्छे से चलती रहे, उसका survival जो है बहुत अच्छे से होता रहे, you really want to see a good contest. You really do not want to see कि बिल्कुल ही किसी का कोई कोलैप्स हो रहा है, या फिर पिच की कोई आनाकानी हो रही है, या उनको लेके पिच को लेके क्रिटिसिज्म ज्यादा हो रहा है. आई थिंक इट्स जस्ट अबाउट हैविंग अ गुड कॉन्टेस्ट विद बोथ टीम्स एक्चुअली फाइटिंग एंड just going after each other. And secondly, I think what you asked about the hundreds, I really feel that someone like Shubman Gill and Virat Kohli, they are due for a big knock. See, let's be very honest. Virat Kohli, yes, we have seen that he has 70 centuries across formats, and see, even if it doesn't score one in the third test, it's not going to matter much. But yeah, you really want to see that contribution, and let's say if he gets that 3-figure score, it's going to bring those smiles back on the faces of fans. And at the very same time, see, I think there's just one perspective on Shubman Gill that I really have, कि ना उन्होंने अभी तक अपना, आई थिंक उन्होंने सेकंड टेस्ट में डेब्यू किया था ऑस्ट्रेलिया में, एमसीजी में, और तब से लेकर अब तक वो 5 टेस्ट खेल चुके हैं. तो उसमें उनके 50s तो आए हैं, बट एक बिग नॉक नहीं है. आई एम एक्चुअली गोना टेल दैट इफ अ बिग स्कोर डजंट कम इन द थर्ड टेस्ट, there are going to be talks of bringing Mayank Agarwal back into the fray. He really step up here. Yes, I really think that
this is so against Shubman Gill's record for Punjab, isn't it? Punjab won big score after big score after big score after big score. That's what comes for Punjab in Ranji Trophy. So I'm actually quite surprised and low-key disappointed that he's not converted, because I think he could have easily had 2, maybe 3 test centuries by now.
Yes,
the way he's played.
Yes, absolutely. See, I'll just reiterate one of my points. I did it in one of the earlier shows also here at the Sports Join. Chetan Sharma, now the chairman of selectors, उन्होंने मेरे को एक बात क्लैरिफाई करी थी बिल्कुल, कि सिद्धार्थ देखो, I was doing a story for an agency and he told me one thing very clearly, that सिद्धार्थ देखो, you talk about KL Rahul and it was way back in 2019, कि KL Rahul test team से drop क्यों हुए, because he had this horrendous tour of Australia in which he had those failures and all, and he wasn't really clicking across formats. I would say why he was dropped, particularly let's say from the test format, because वो limited overs में फिर भी वापस आ गए थे, because उन्होंने जब एक टाइम ऐसा आया था कि उनके एक स्ट्रिंग ऑफ 50s थे, 6-7 50s थे उन्होंने उनको टेस्ट में कन्वर्ट नहीं किया था, टेस्ट 100s में कन्वर्ट नहीं किया था. अगर वो 100s में कन्वर्ट हो जाते ना, तो वो उस टाइम पे टेस्ट टीम से ड्रॉप नहीं होते. So there is this importance of actually converting those 50, 70s into 100s, 150 or 200. And that is where actually Mayank Agarwal has excelled early into his career. Yes. I would actually still rate him as a, seasoned pro, a veteran. Okay, not a veteran, but seasoned pro, because I think he's 27 plus, and he has got those, hundreds and double hundred also.
He's played Ranji Trophy a good 8-9 years. 8 years at least.
Absolutely, he has waited in the wings for his chance. So yeah, definitely. If Shubman Gill, let's say if he gets a couple of 50s or something, then there are no, then actually koi talk nahi hoga. But if he fails, there is going to be this talk of bringing Mayank Agarwal back, because see there is बहुत important होता है 100 मारना, because जितना एक प्लेयर के लिए इंडिविजुअली इंपॉर्टेंट होता है, उससे कहीं ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट ये भी होता है कि आपका जो 100 है वो टीम को कितना, क्या वो जिताया भी है या फिर मतलब वो कितना टीम को पोजीशन में अच्छी पोजीशन में रखा है. तो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड आई रियली रियली लाइक दिस कमेंट फ्रॉम चेतन सर, क्योंकि आपको अपने हंड्रेड्स को कन्वर्ट करना बहुत जरूरी है. एंड दैट इज वेयर विराट कोहली वाज आल्सो बैक्ड बाय समवन लाइक महेंद्र सिंह धोनी. सी बिफोर विराट कोहली ब्रोक इनटू द टेस्ट टीम, तो उनके अराउंड 8 ओडीआई सेंचुरीज थे, एंड स्टिल ऑन हिज डेब्यू टूर ऑफ वेस्ट इंडीज, डेब्यू टेस्ट टूर, ही फेल्ड. और उसके बाद भी उनसे इसलिए परसिस्ट करा गया था बिकॉज ही हैड सम हंड्रेड्स in his bank, he had those credits जिसकी वजह से उनको बैक करा जा सकता था. तो यहीं पे एक बात आ जाती है कि आपको बड़े नॉक्स खेलना क्यों जरूरी होता है. There's a term in England cricket that is very much famous, and that's daddy hundreds. Yeah, that is very important. And for me, yes, let's say if there has to be a prediction, I would really really want Shubman Gill and Virat Kohli to get past the 3-figure mark. From the England side, yes, Joe Root could be due for another big score. He is in sublime form, and he was actually in good touch in the second test also, despite of not getting a big score. And secondly, I really really have a feeling that Oli Pope could be England's key batsman here, because you might have to play that waiting game also when it comes. Let's say when the test match goes past 8 or 8:30 p.m. IST, they might, and if there is not much due, तो कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है कि उस टाइम पे आपको सिर्फ वेटिंग गेम ही खेलना पड़ेगा, जिसकी वजह से आपके जो विकेट्स हैं वो ज्यादा लूज ना हो, एंड आपके जो 2 बैट्समैन हैं वो रहें, एंड गोइंग इनटू द नेक्स्ट डे जब मैच 2:30 को स्टार्ट होगा. तो आई थिंक उनका जो टेक्निक है, एंड द वे लेट्स से हिज नंबर्स मे नॉट बी दैट ग्रेट, बट या वी ऑल नो what a talent he is and what he can do for England in the year to come. So yeah, I think for England, these 2 batsmen. But yeah, for me, the difference that's going to be in this test is going to be how the fast bowlers bowl, provided there is no due.
All right. Thank you, Siddharth. I think that's quite beautifully summed up. For the few parts that were in Hindi, I'll once again try my best to be a translator for Nathan. Siddharth talked about Shubman Gill and the fact that he's not been converting his starts, or the 50s that he's had into hundreds, and how that can now start being questioned by the Indian selectors. Because you could see, if he doesn't convert, if he gets a couple of 50s in both the innings, then I think he should be fine. But if he's suppose not able to convert the chances that he gets in both the innings, you could see someone like Mayank Agarwal replace him in the 4th test match, which would be a quite absolute topsy turn of tables. Because after the first test match, we spoke about Rohit's place being in question. Now after the 3rd test match, we could be talking about Shubman's place being in question. While I agree with that to an extent, I do think they might persist with Shubman for the entire series. They might do that. They might give him the last test match as well.
Yeah.
While it has been quite tough on Mayank Agarwal to have him dropped from the test series. He only had 2 bad test matches, and he lost his place in the test team, and which is quite very tough on an away tour with a batsman where he has performed earlier in his career. It's not like he cannot perform in Australia. I think he changed his technique a little bit for the IPL, and that carried through into the test matches. I hope he's worked on it and gotten more compact, because he needs to understand that opening spot is still there for him to take. He's good 7 years younger than Rohit Sharma, and Rohit Sharma will only play test cricket for another 3-4 years at best. And if once Rohit leaves, Mayank would still be late 20s, early 30s, and I think still play test cricket for the next 6, 7, 8 years after that. So, and he's also a very fit chap. Beyond that, he was talking about, of course, fast bowlers and their application being quite vital in that test match, and also him wanting that the test match goes to a 4th day or a 5th day, and not wanting to see a 2.5 day test match. So that's about it. And he spoke about the people who might get hundreds, I think, and that was all in English as well. So hopefully you caught that. But I'll ask you, Nathan, how do you see the first day going? And in the test match, from England's perspective, who would be the 3 standout players for you?
Just to add to the point about Gill, Joe Root convert a 50 to 100. And we talked about him being in the top 4, or he's been talked about being in the top 4. So it seems a bit harsh from the outside on Gill that his place is being questioned. But on an England stance, hopefully we win the toss and bat without saying too much of the obvious. I think one of the key players is Sibley and Burns, keeping out the new ball and getting closer to lunch or even beyond if possible. And then obviously it makes the life a lot easier for Root, Stokes and Co. But if we can win the toss and bat, get 300 to 4-5, and I think we'll be right in the game on that front. That's my hope. Again, it just depends on the wicket. Again, it might be a bit more bowler friendly than we probably think it could be. We're not too sure how grass plays really, or I'm not anyway, in India, so it might swing a little bit or it might get a little bit reversed. But obviously with the heat, it won't be English style pitch, or sorry, English style swing. So I just hope we just bat, in short.
Yeah, I think it will be vital because we've seen ping ball test matches, especially in the subcontinent or in Asia. There's a match between West Indies and Pakistan, and both the teams just kept on batting, and the result came on the 5th day. Again, spinners are vital in that test match, and so that was, even though that was in Abu Dhabi, there is no dew, there is nothing like that there as such to worry about. There is going to be dew in Ahmedabad, so you're gonna have the ground's gonna be wet with the dew, and that's gonna make holding the ball slightly more difficult, and it's gonna prevent a lot of swing. But it might actually aid the bowlers in more seam movement. So it's gonna be interesting for us also, man. I think. Yeah, Nathan, you're saying something. Sorry.
So I was just going to add. So the twilight period, that's about midway through the second session, won't it?
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking, if you're bowling second, you're not likely to. The balls are likely to be a lot harder coming into the twilight zone, which will make batting a lot harder. So actually, although we batted for 2 days in test match 1, a day and a half will probably be a lot better than 2 days. So that actually, the whole twilight zone.
Absolutely. I think whichever team bats first will be looking to bat 4.5 sessions at the perfect point that will be for them. Maybe 5 sessions if they're going at a good clip, and definitely keep the last session for the team. I don't think there is going to be a team looking to bat out 2 days and then put in the team on the 3rd day, because I think the first session of the day would be one of the best sessions to bat, because it's going to be very hot. Pitch is going to be baked. And it's going to take the most effort out of the fast bowlers that session. So you might see a lot of spin in that session, especially going ahead into the test match. But I think the second session is the one where we'll see a lot of wickets. I think that should be the session we see most wickets in. I'll quickly take a few more comments, and I'll come to the other 3 of you guys for your opinions on the day. And I'll just have a very quick question to ask all 3 of you. So hopefully it'll not take so much time. Masum, I agree. I absolutely did not like the quality of questions from the journalists. 3 questions asked the same question. It's the same question about Ishant Sharma. One of them asked a question about Ishant Sharma's hair and Virat Kohli and Mahendra Singh Dhoni's lack of hair. And then, really idiotic questions, not asking hard-hitting questions, not asking questions about, are you worried about, X, Y, Z, or what is your strategy for so and so. I did not really like the questions. I would hope if the journalists are given an opportunity, ask questions which actually provide you an insight, and it's not the same answer. And keep 3 questions in hand, man. If your question's been asked by someone else, just keep three options in your hand. Ask the other 2 options if it's possible. I'm no professional journalist.
No disrespect to the fact, what are the questions that journalists ask now and then. But I really feel that we were born in the era where the journalists were allowed to enter the dressing room freely.
Yeah.
There were no restrictions. You could talk to the players freely. You could have those good stories, which we have seen quite a few veterans of this industry have done. And obviously they have been an inspiration for me. I have really looked up to these people, and I would say only if I wish, only if these were the.
And Siddharth, adding to that, there are some people in that press conference who we know personally. A lot of them.
Yeah, I would not like to comment.
I just refrain from commenting, so that's why.
It's
I,
like
I would like to add on that, just for
please,
the
please.
people commenting and people in the comment section. If you are a budding journalist and if you are a
Yeah.
Gulati, try to be a Siddharth, not a Rohan. That
Oh, no, you're going to see.
Siddharth,
Thank you. See, thank you for this. See,
I
thank
just
you for
mean
this.
it in a
But
way. Yeah, I just mean it in a way like if you are at a professional post, be like a professional. Like so, I think that's how I have summed
Yeah, I
up.
mean,
Like,
my only suggestion, of course, I'm no one to suggest anything to anyone. I've got no qualifications as such. Just my like slight, two cents of whatever little brain I might have. Just keep 3 questions. Keep a couple of standbys because someone's asked a question about Ishant's 100. What's the point of asking another question about Ishant's 100?
Yeah.
Then a third question about Ishant's hair. Really? Are we going into Ishant's hair now? I mean, you could have asked a question about Siraj versus Umesh. Who do you think could be a better pick for you guys? How do you think Siraj has been
absolutely.
performing? The development. You could have asked a question about the visibility of the big ball, Kuldeep, wrist spin. Nothing, nada, nil poa, nothing.
And
So yeah,
if I may, just add one more point here, that first of all, one question could have been asked about the reserve players. How big of an impact are
yeah,
they having in the nets? And just if I
Exactly.
may use this platform, so it's a shout out to all the budding journalists and the youngsters here, that if you really, really want to excel in this field, obviously, I am no Superman here, to tell you something. Of course, you are entitled to your own opinion. Focus on something that's going to help yourself, let's say build a brand out of yourself for
Yeah.
long. Don't focus on something that's going to lead to some goods in the short term. And in short term, I'm clarifying this, it's the masala content. Yes, I'm going to say this very openly here. Try and focus on something good, some good stories, some good interviews in which players do talk about, probably it's like, behind the scenes stories which really matter in this field. So yeah, this is something that I really, really, really want, that as and when the time progresses, I would love to read such kind of content. And sure,
yeah.
this is the content that's going to survive, I'm telling you, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we'd hope so because if you do ask questions wherein I'm not saying make people uncomfortable with the questions. That should never be your agenda. Your agenda
Yeah,
should be
yeah,
information. Your agenda should
right.
be try to gain something that has already not been gained from this presser.
Yeah.
Maybe something on those lines. All right. Enough of this. Enough of this from our end. I'll just quickly take
Yeah.
it from
PhD
other.
and yeah.
Who will be the highest wicket taker and highest run scorer? Take your pick. Amit says, I'll address the questions through the panelist, Amit. Vijay says it could be a draw if England win the toss and choose to bat. Amit says no chance. Navjeevan says I trusted a wrong source. Will try and avoid stats. Don't avoid stats, Navjeevan. Just avoid that source. Or maybe it's just we can all get things wrong. On the best
Was
of our
that
It's
ability.
the
So
okay.
don't
was that
worry.
Yeah.
the Siraj one? Siraj one.
Siraj,
Yeah.
yeah,
Siraj.
yeah.
Siraj.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
brother. I know your intent was true, so it's fine. 4 days, India bats first. Kohli and Pujara with centuries. Root for a duck in one of the innings. India enforce a follow-on and then bat against England. Wow, Shivam is like
If only.
the
We should
entire
we should
party is
have
fine.
we should have Shivam and Nathan in the like together on the show. Like it would be absolute fun. Gold stuff.
Shivam, Nathan. No. We should have Shivam, Nathan, and Rohan. All three of them. That'll be funny.
Oh,
Shivam,
lovely. Yes.
just wishing for an easy victory, Amit. Drama is already there too much in life due to different teams and other sports. All right.
Welcome to my world, mate.
Just for clarification for anyone who didn't know, Preston missed 2 penalties, and this was a very tough loss for them. Back-to-back 2 penalties that they missed, and it's a tough loss. And it's the team that Nathan supports, so he's quite annoyed over the weekend. He said, "I don't talk football to me." Shivam, I don't like don't talk like a Chelsea or a Liverpool fan. Amit says, "All right."
Cricket.
Drama is all good and fair in cricket, is what Amit says. Greatest aspect of test match, day-night test match cricket is if there are any loss of overs, they can easily compensate the overs, as there will be no issue with game being held due to bad light. All right, Vijay. You'll not have that light Peter coming out,
Yeah.
especially in this test match. Too soon for Gill, who looks strong and firm at the top. We found a firm player at the top after a long time. Gill is young. Best time to groom and back him would be now. I do not disagree, Navjeevan. And while it will look tough, I think Gill needs to stand up and score a century and just shut them out. That might even not be open today, but might be open 2 months down the line. You could. I'm telling you, world changes very quickly. Mayank Agarwal was one of the top scorers in the IPL. No one ever thought he's going to lose his place. Look what is happening. We were talking about Shikhar Dhawan going out, Mayank and Rohit opening in the one days. Look what has happened to the guy. The white ball team dropped from the first 11 in the test team. So world moves very quickly. We just don't want Shubman to give the world a chance. That's what I think. Siddharth was talking about. Hardik 100 in the second innings. Yeah, let's go. Siddharth says, let's hope Hardik doesn't need to play the second innings. That'll be even better. Kohli, the highest run scorer. Ishan, the highest wicket taker on my picks. Shivam says, I think, Shivam, a lot of people will agree with you. Broad Anderson incoming. Then Akash, welcome back in the comments, brother. Lovely to have you here. Broad Anderson incoming. Yes, I think they're going to play. Amit is wishing Shivam, very well. Like Archer said, England wants to be in the driver's seat, and they will definitely give more than 100% to make this match count for sure. All right, I would go with Bumrah and Gill. Amit says he will have to bowl. No, he's talking about most runs and most wickets.
I'm just kidding.
He will have to bowl serious gas for that, which he has not done since the Ashes. All right.
Yeah.
Pressers are very irritating at times. There are a few stupid ones. I can attest to that. They asked Dishant 3 same questions after he said, I don't like to talk about records. I agree.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. They ask Virat about records every time, and his answer is a patented answer every time. I do not look at the numbers. I just play the game as it is, and you still keep asking about the numbers. मोटेरा में इतने लोग आएंगे तो 2 hours पहले और 2 hours बाद traffic में बैठो. Yeah, I mean, there will be a traffic issue around Motera. I agree. Masoom says Harbhajan in 2013, Ishan will be the first to play 100 Test match for India.
That's a great start. That's a great start. Yes.
That's absolutely great start.
Shashank says Motera has parking for 3,000 cars and 10,000 two-wheelers. My request to all the fans, guys, use public transport. Don't use your own vehicles because you might be stuck there for a little while. So there's a lot of
Just walk. Just take the flag and walk.
If you can afford to walk, if you're that close to the stadium, not everyone can walk, brother. I mean, it's a far off place.
Just
and it's going to be middle of the day. You're asking people to walk around 11, 12 in the morning. Afternoon. It's going to be
small plug-in of a historical event that there was a Dandi match a few years back. So if you can just follow it, I think it would be great in Gujarat.
All right. Why don't England day-night matches very often, be it limited overs, international or most of domestic games at Nathan? Vijay, I think when it comes to India, the timings don't suit India. For the rest, I think we'll get Nathan's opinion there. Shubman 100 tomorrow. Place your bets, Shashank says. Please talk about England. Toughest job is to make your place in the Indian cricket team. Playing 11 indefinitely. Of course, it's almost a very impossible job. Why don't England? Of course, it's the same question. Tejdeep is laughing. After metro construction completes, it will have a stop at the Motera. It is in the plans. Shank says.
Yeah.
Bloody typos. Sorry. Vijay says. Rohan, I'll come to you. Just a quick question. Who will be the top scorer and the top wicket getter in this test match, and how many days do you think it will
go? 4.5 days. Virat Kohli and Jasprit Bumrah.
That's quite concise. That's lovely. I'll come to you, Pratmesh. Same question. Who will be the top scorer and wicket taker in this test match, and how many days?
How many days? I feel it ends on the third day. Talking about the wicket takers, I think the top wicket taker for India will be Ravi Ashwin. And talking about top run getters, I feel it will be Che Pujji.
All right.
Nice.
Anurag, same question. Runs, wickets, and number of days.
I'd be incredibly surprised if the game goes to 50. Irrelevant of who wins this, I don't think I don't know, for some odd reason I don't think ping ball thing. I think it's going to have a very it's going to support the bowlers a lot. So I don't expect a lot of runs. I am expecting Cheteshwar Pujara and hopefully Mohammad Siraj to do well. Let's see.
All right. For me, I hope the test match goes at least to the fifth day, even if it's the first session of the fifth day or something like that. That'll be great to see. It'll be a great advertisement for day night test cricket in India as well. Uh, it's more a hope than a prediction. I hope Virat Kohli gets a century. We stop talking about this nonsense, and I hope Pujara or Rahane, one of them, also gets a century, because Rahane has had questions despite scoring a few runs in the recent past, and for Cheteshwar Pujara, there's just been too many 60s, 70s, and 80s. Come on, Puji, we need a 100, and we know when Pujara scores 100, it's a big 100. So let's hope we see that. And I'll just read the last 3-4 comments that there. Which pitch will be used? The one with the black soil or one with the red soil? Thoughts? Navjeevan says. Navjeevan, let's just wait for it tomorrow now. MCA, Pune, and MOTERA are the only grounds in India which has no pillar inside. That means the vision for spectators won't be obstructed. Yes, we've often seen those, those views, aerial views of the ground. It's quite beautiful. Unfortunately, I think Nathan's left the live, or has had to leave the live right now for some work. So massive shout out to Nathan. I know I'm a little late doing that, but massive shout out to him. And we're going to have him for during the rest of the tour, and also during the IPL, the 100 and everything else. Try to get his opinions as well. But he's fantastic.
He's a Rajasthan fan, so he will be very interested about the IPL.
Fantastic for him, to join us for so long. Kohli's 100 is mandatory in this match. It's been just too long. It's been 34 innings.
Kohli interest के साथ return करेगा 100.
MOTERA has 11 pitches, 5 mains, 6 practice, all of the same soil in order to adapt fast. All right, Shashank. How about a double triple for 100 from Virat or Puji? It'll be lovely, Vijay. I mean, that will be just a sight for sore eyes. 300 rupees minimum ticket price at MOTERA, which doesn't include food and beverages. All right. Shashank, thank you for that. Thank you to all of you guys, especially to Siddharth. We always tell him 1 ghanta hoga, and bichare, very, very quietly. He knows in his heart 1 ghanta kabhi nahi hoga. And he's still,
I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I would hope it says more about the live that he sticks on, because he enjoys it, and we absolutely are so grateful to have you on board, brother, all the time. And thank you so much once again for joining. This is the first comment I've seen from Jay Dhabar. Thank you so much, Jay, for joining us. Will the toss matter tomorrow?
Yeah.
Jihan, all right. Jihan, thank you so much for joining. The toss always matters, brother. It's India. I think whoever bats first surely gets an advantage this test match, whoever is the team. Let's hope Kohli calls it correctly tomorrow. And of course, Be Express Sport, check it out. Check out their YouTube page. Check out their Insta, Twitter, and Facebook as well. Rohan, thank you so much for joining. And Pratmesh Anurag, the regulars. Tejdeep also says, let's hope the toss doesn't matter. Tejdeep, unfortunately, it will. On that note, this is Tushar. Check out the Sports Doyen website, the YouTube channel that you're on already, Facebook account if you've logged in from there, the Twitter account, the Insta handle as well. Check it out. We're gonna be live as well on Insta from time to time tomorrow as well. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. But of course, do join us for the 10 p.m. live. Post day's play. We are all hyped up after the pink ball test match, and let's hope we've seen some fantastic batting or bowling, and definitely fielding if India are bowling first from the Indians. And we're back here with big smiles. Vijay with the last comment. Batsmen have occasionally made humongous scores in pink ball tests. The sample size is very less, but there are 2 triple centuries. Yes, I know. David Warner being one of them, of course. So, thank you so much once again, all 4 of you. Jihan, your comments are slightly late. I'm so sorry, man. Will the Pacers still be an advantage, or the spinners, because it's the pink? Brother, I would request you to go check out the 1 hour 40 minutes that we've done. We've discussed that. I think it's gonna be a mixture for both of them. But thank you so much for joining. Thank you. And as Nathan says, goodbye, Tata, Shubhratri, Shabakir, and we'll see you tomorrow.